Chosen ones. This is why chosen ones are hated by the majority. The truth they won't tell you. From the beginning, those who are set apart by God have always faced what seems unfair. Their hearts carry peace, but the world often rewards them with resistance. Their love is real, but others respond with envy. Why does this happen? Because when God places His mark on someone, the world sees what it can't understand, and what it can't understand, it often fears, it often mocks, it often fights. You are not alone in this. You were never meant to fit in. You're not the problem. The anointing on your life is. The more you shine with purity, grace, and humility, the more the darkness in others feels exposed. Some people don't want to change, so instead, they try to break the mirror that reflects what they avoid. That mirror, dear one, is you. You were chosen not just for blessings, but for battles. Not just for peace, but to carry a presence that stirs everything around it. The attacks, the misunderstandings, the rejection, it's because you carry something sacred. God placed a light inside of you that the enemy has tried to dim since you were born. But what man tries to bury, God resurrects with fire. There's something inside of you that threatens systems, shakes spirits, and awakens sleeping hearts. That's why they talk. That's why they laugh when you cry. That's why you walk alone more often than not. Because the majority doesn't celebrate what they can't control. The world sees only the surface, but God sees your heart. He knows every moment you've stayed kind when you were crushed, every time you kept silent instead of defending yourself, every tear you've wiped away in the night while still speaking blessings in the morning. The hate you experience is not because you did something wrong, it's often because you did everything right. You chose to live with honesty in a world that rewards masks. You chose to love when it was easier to walk away. You chose God when everyone else was chasing noise. And that, dear soul, is what sets you apart. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. Type Amen if you feel the truth rising inside you now. The chosen are hated not because they seek greatness, but because greatness finds them even in silence. There's something divine about your journey, something that even your enemies sense. That's why the enemy works through people to try and silence your purpose. The enemy doesn't waste time on those who pose no threat. If you've been attacked, laughed at, lied on, or ignored, take it as confirmation. You're carrying something powerful, something eternal. The world won't always clap for what heaven crowns. The same hands that waved palm branches for Jesus were the same ones that shouted, "Crucify him," not long after. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be light. And light, no matter how gentle, will always irritate those who love the dark. But don't harden your heart. Don't stop loving. Don't start dimming just to be accepted. That's not your path. The rejection is not your identity. It's your redirection. God is using it all. Every no, every goodbye, every betrayal. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are becoming. This world has a way of trying to convince the pure that their purity is weakness. But don't fall for it. Stay soft. Stay kind. Your love is your strength. Your heart is not a mistake. It's a masterpiece. And while many may never understand the depth of your soul, God does. He created you with intention, with layers, with purpose that even you haven't fully seen yet. The hate? It's just noise. The truth is louder. Heaven knows your name. Heaven celebrates you when the world sits in silence. God's favor will surround you like a shield. And those who once dismissed you will be silenced not by revenge, but by the undeniable glow of divine elevation. You were not chosen for ease. You were chosen for impact. You're not here to blend in. You're here to break chains. And though the path feels lonely, it is holy. You walk with angels. You move with heaven. Type 1111 if you trust that God is lifting you through every unseen battle. They won't tell you that your quiet spirit carries thunder in the spirit realm. They won't admit that your prayers have shifted atmospheres. They won't say it, but they feel it. They sense your strength, even in your silence. They see your favor, even if they pretend they don't. You don't have to prove a thing. Just keep walking, keep healing, keep rising. Chosen ones are often misunderstood, not because they are confusing, but because the truth in them exposes what others try to hide. You walk with a spirit that reflects clarity. You speak with a voice that carries healing. You move with grace that unsettles egos. This is why they distance themselves. Not because you are unworthy, but because your worth reminds them of what they have not yet faced in themselves. Type 222 if you're claiming your breakthrough from silent battles. What if wealth was never about luck, but about a hidden brain signal that remained buried in classified files? This powerful frequency is now unlocking doors, drawing in new opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract prosperity in ways they never thought possible. Click the link in the description and comments now and switch on the money-attracting brainwave today. You are not called to be like everyone else. You are not supposed to mirror the ways of the world. God didn't set you apart to blend in. He set you apart so He could move through you. And the process of becoming who you were made to be isn't always pretty. It isn't always welcomed. But it is always worth it. Chosen ones are often refined in isolation. They're shaped in seasons where nobody sees the weight they carry. They're tested in fires that would consume others. But those trials, they're not punishments, they're preparation. For every person who laughed at your dreams, for every door that shut without warning, for every season you cried yourself to sleep, heaven was watching. God was writing purpose into every detail. And though it may not have made sense then, you're starting to see that everything was necessary. Even the pain had a part to play. Being chosen doesn't mean you won't be wounded. It means your wounds will become testimonies. It means your scars will carry stories of survival, of faith, of glory. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are strong for not letting your pain change your heart. The majority will never tell you this because the world is loud with ego, with jealousy, with judgment. But God whispers the truth in quiet places. He tells you that your tears are not forgotten. He reminds you that your love still matters, even when it's not returned. He shows you that your path may be narrow, but it is holy. Many will look at you and never understand why you still rise after being broken, why you still smile after being betrayed, why you still help others even when no one helps you. But that's what being chosen does. It gives you strength that doesn't come from the world. It comes from within. It comes from above. God never promised that being chosen would be easy. But He promised you would never walk alone. Even when people turn their backs on you, even when your heart is heavy with the weight of disappointment, even when you feel invisible, He is near. Every step, every breath, every moment. You don't need validation from those who overlook you. You don't need applause from crowds that don't know your journey. You are not here for popularity. You're here for purpose. And purpose isn't always pretty. Sometimes it looks like being the only one praying when everyone else is sleeping. Sometimes it feels like carrying burdens in silence, while others celebrate without knowing the battles you faced. Type 555 if you're walking by purpose, not popularity. There's power in being the one God chooses. But that power comes with pressure. It comes with people questioning your heart. It comes with seasons of lack and loneliness. But through it all, God never stops shaping you. He uses the pain to prune. He uses the silence to speak. He uses the betrayal to build. And slowly, without you even realizing it, He's been turning your broken pieces into a masterpiece. You were not created to be understood by everyone. Your spirit is rare. Your calling is deep. The majority won't see it because they weren't meant to. Only those with discernment will know who you truly are. And those are the ones God will send into your life at the right time, people who will love your heart, not just your gifts, people who won't be threatened by your light, but drawn to it. Until then, don't shrink. Don't dim yourself just to feel accepted. Don't twist your truth to avoid their anger. Be bold in your softness. Be strong in your stillness. Keep walking in truth, even when it costs you. Because in the end, the reward is far greater than the rejection. What God is doing in you is rare, and rare things are not always immediately accepted. But one day, the same people who doubted you will look back and see what God always saw in you. Your life will speak without needing to shout. Your peace will preach without needing to argue. Chosen ones are hated because they carry what others pray for but aren't willing to become. You are living proof that God still chooses the quiet, the humble, the hurting. You are a reminder that even when the world turns its back, God opens His arms. The pain you've walked through wasn't random. The silence you endured wasn't for nothing. Every tear you cried in private carried the weight of purpose. God saw it all, and He has been molding you through the very things that tried to break you. The truth they don't tell you is that chosen ones are not only misunderstood, they are also spiritually targeted, not because they are weak, but because they are strong in ways the world can't explain. People sense your power, even when you're quiet. They feel your peace, and it unsettles the chaos they've grown used to. That's why they pull away. That's why they whisper behind your back. That's why some act cold, even when you've only shown warmth. You walk in a way that reflects heaven. You carry a love that can't be manipulated. And that love, that truth, that presence, it reveals what others hide. It brings light into shadows. It uncovers what's been ignored for too long. Type 1212 if you're walking forward in faith, no matter who misunderstands you. Chosen ones are not perfect, but they are preserved. You may feel unworthy some days. You may wonder if you're doing enough. But the fact that you keep trying, the fact that you still choose love, the fact that you've held on when others would have let go, that's what makes you chosen. You keep going when it's hard. You stay kind when it's not returned. You believe even when you feel broken. And yes, it hurts. It hurts when people you've trusted don't believe in you. It hurts when those closest to you treat your calling like a joke. But they don't see the nights you've spent on your knees. They don't see how your heart breaks for others while carrying your own pain. They don't hear the quiet prayers you whisper when no one is watching. Within your mind is a small region linked to success and wealth, once concealed in restricted research and classified files. This newly revealed frequency is helping people trade financial stress for calm and stability, and God has led you to see this at the perfect moment. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. The world teaches people to celebrate success, not process, to honor results, not resilience. But God celebrates differently. He sees the beauty in every battle you've survived. He sees the strength it takes to keep your heart open after betrayal. He sees the courage behind every smile you've shared on the days you wanted to give up. And the truth is, most people don't know what to do with someone who refuses to conform, who doesn't chase attention, who lives with a quiet kind of power. So, instead of celebrating you, they distance themselves. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your life confronts their comfort zones. You're not the reason for the hate. Your spirit is, your anointing is, your consistency is. They see you standing when they thought you would fall. They see you speaking life when they expected you to stay silent. And it shakes something in them that they haven't been willing to face. But don't let it change you. Keep being you. Keep living from a place of truth, because one day, everything they tried to mock will become the very thing they admire. One day, your obedience will lead to overflow. One day, your loyalty to God will open doors that no man can close. Type 1919 if you're ready to receive what they never thought you would. The road of the chosen one isn't smooth. It's carved with challenges that demand growth. It's built on moments where you're called to keep trusting even when the future is unclear. And through it all, you become deeper, you become wiser, you become someone who doesn't break easily. You begin to understand that being hated by many often means you're honored by God. You stop needing explanations for why people leave. You stop begging for support from those who were never meant to walk beside you, because now you see clearly your assignment was never about popularity. It was about purpose. The truth they don't speak is that you were never meant to be liked by everyone. You were meant to awaken something holy in a world that's become numb. You were meant to carry a torch through the dark, even when no one else would hold the light. You were meant to live with a different rhythm, one that moves to the sound of heaven, not the noise of the crowd. They may never admit how deeply your words moved them. They may never say how your presence brought peace when their world was falling apart. But don't let their silence rob you of your value. What they can't say doesn't change what you carry, and what they refuse to acknowledge doesn't cancel the truth written over your life by God. This world rewards imitation, but God honors authenticity. And your authenticity is sacred. You were not created to be a copy of anyone else. You were formed with divine fingerprints. Everything about you is intentional, the way you feel, the way you think, the way you love. Don't change that to make others comfortable. You are not too much. You are not too soft. You are not too spiritual. You are exactly what this world needs, even if it doesn't know how to embrace you yet. Keep walking in truth. Keep living with heart. Keep trusting the one who chose you before anyone else had an opinion about you. What's ahead will be worth every silent tear, every lonely night, every battle fought in secret. Because what God is building in you is unshakable. And when the time comes, He will reveal you. He will lift you. He will silence the mouths that doubted your worth. Not through vengeance, but through undeniable favor. The truth they won't tell you is that chosen ones are often left out, not because they lack value, but because their value is too rare to be recognized by common eyes. When you carry light, it often attracts opposition. Not because you provoked it, but because what you carry is undeniable. It speaks even when you don't. It shines even when you try to hide. You weren't created to go unnoticed. You were created to go through what others couldn't survive and still carry peace. Type yes if you believe what God is doing in your life is bigger than what they did to you. There are people who've tried to label you without ever truly knowing your heart. They see the strength, but they don't see the scars. They notice the grace, but not the weight. They sense something different about you, and instead of embracing it, they resist it. That's the truth most won't admit. That their hatred wasn't personal, it was spiritual. Their resistance came from a place of discomfort, not because of who you are, but because of who you're becoming. The enemy doesn't fight empty vessels. He targets the ones who carry glory. And make no mistake, you carry glory. That's why you've been hit with battles you didn't deserve. That's why you've walked through fire you never started. That's why people misunderstood you, talked about you, left you behind. They were reacting to what they couldn't see but could feel. The spiritual mark on your life makes others sense something holy, even if they don't understand it. But don't resent them. Their rejection was redirection. Their silence made room for God's voice. Their absence became the doorway to your deeper encounter with the one who never leaves. What was meant to break you has built you. And now you stand stronger, not because you never bent, but because you didn't stay down. This journey isn't just about survival, it's about transformation. God has been refining you like gold. Every season of pressure, every hour of heartbreak, every prayer you whispered with trembling hands, it's all been leading you somewhere divine. You didn't walk alone. Even in the dark, God was near. Even when you felt abandoned, heaven was planning your promotion. Chosen ones carry a quiet boldness. They speak from the heart, not to impress, but to heal. They give, even when it costs them. They love when it's not returned. That's who you are. You don't follow crowds, you follow calling. You don't chase applause, you chase truth. And while the world may never fully understand your ways, God celebrates them. Type 777 if you trust Jesus with the parts of your life no one sees. A 7. Second brainwave method, once limited to elite circles and tucked away in classified files, is now accessible to the public, and many refer to it as the 3-0 second miracle. Researchers say it stimulates a dormant brain center tied to prosperity and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it's removed again from the internet. There's something sacred about your solitude. While others seek noise, you've been learning to hear God in the stillness. While others rush to be seen, you've chosen to be hidden until the right moment. And that moment is coming. The same God who shaped you in secret is about to honor you in the open. Not for show, but for His glory. Don't worry about proving yourself. You were never meant to convince the world. Your life will do that for you. The favor coming will speak louder than any lie spoken about you. The peace you carry will calm storms that others run from. The path ahead will carry blessings wrapped in clarity, purpose, and joy that no one can steal. You're not falling behind, you're being aligned. You're not forgotten, you're being focused. What's happening in you is holy. And sometimes, the holiest things are birthed in silence, away from eyes that would misjudge the process. Keep your heart tender, keep your spirit open. Let love keep flowing through you, even when it hurts. Forgiveness is your freedom, faith is your foundation, and Jesus is your anchor. Everything may not make sense now, but soon the pieces will come together, and you'll see why it had to be this way. You are being set apart, not cast aside. There's a difference. The world discards what it can't use, but God separates what He wants to bless. The delay is not denial, the quiet is not rejection. It's a sign that heaven is working. And you, chosen one, are in the middle of something divine. The hatred you faced didn't come because you failed. It came because your very presence reminded people of something they've lost: purity, peace, purpose. When you walk in grace, it makes others uncomfortable with their own bitterness. When you speak truth, it echoes louder than opinions. You don't need a platform to have power. Your very existence carries light. Your journey preaches louder than words. And your faith, even in broken seasons, is a testimony that God is real. Type Amen if you still believe God is fighting battles you can't even see. What most won't say out loud is this: they envy your peace. They can't understand how you stay calm in the middle of storms, how you keep going after all you've faced. But they don't know what's holding you up. They don't know the nights you've spent praying. They don't know the times you chose to love instead of seeking revenge. That's the strength of a chosen one. What breaks others builds you. What silences others strengthens your voice. What defeats others refines your purpose. You don't live for the spotlight. You don't need applause. You just need that gentle nudge from God saying, "Keep going, I'm with you." And He is. Through every season, through every heartache, through every shift, His hand has never left you. The majority may not understand it, but God has always known what He placed inside of you. He knew you would survive things that were meant to take you out. He knew your heart would remain soft when the world tried to harden it. He knew you would shine even when life tried to bury you. People hate what they can't define. And that's you. You're not moved by trends. You're not shaped by opinions. You move to the rhythm of heaven. You are led by something deeper, something sacred, something real. And the truth is, not everyone has the capacity to receive that. That's why many walked away. That's why others stayed distant. But don't take their absence as loss. See it as clearing. God is removing what can't go where you're going. The path ahead requires alignment, not attachment. Type 1111 if you trust God to separate you from anything that would limit your calling. You've been learning to let go, to release the need to be understood, to stop explaining your heart to those who only listen to respond, not to understand. And in that surrender, God is birthing something new in you, a deeper level of peace, a stronger level of clarity, a quiet kind of confidence that no crowd could ever give. The most powerful people aren't always loud. They're steady, they're rooted, they walk with unseen authority. And that's you. Not because you sought it, but because you've been through the kind of process that only heaven could ordain. You've been hidden, but not forgotten. You've been pressed, but not destroyed. You've been pruned, but for a purpose. Chosen ones are not made overnight. They are shaped by fire. They are tested through silence. They are built in secret so that when God reveals them, they will not break under the weight of the blessing. That's why your life has felt like a series of spiritual workouts. God has been preparing you to carry more peace, more wisdom, more impact. Your life is not a mistake. Your path is not a punishment. It is preparation. And soon, everything that didn't make sense will begin to fall into place. The rejection was part of the redirection. The confusion was part of the clarity. The loss was part of the leading. And the silence was part of the strengthening. Don't let the world's coldness convince you to numb your heart. Keep feeling deeply. Keep loving fully. Keep hoping quietly. Your spirit was designed to shine, not in a way that draws attention, but in a way that brings healing. You carry something this world desperately needs, but few are ready to receive. That's why the enemy tried to distract you. That's why you felt unseen. That's why people turned their backs right when you needed them most. Because the light in you terrifies what is hidden in them. But don't change, don't dim, don't become hardened just to survive. You were not made to survive. You were made to thrive in places where others fell. You were made to walk through valleys and come out with victory. You were made to carry God's voice in a world that often refuses to listen. And you do it so humbly, so quietly, that sometimes even you forget how powerful your presence is. But God didn't forget. He sees the way you've stayed faithful, the way you've kept giving even when you were tired, the way you've believed in promises that haven't yet arrived, and because of that, you are about to enter a season of open doors. Doors that no one can shut, doors that won't require explanations, doors that align with the purity of your heart. What if wealth could be triggered from inside your own mind through a powerful sound frequency once hidden in classified files? Experts say this signal naturally attracts opportunity and financial freedom, and many people are already putting it to use. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate this hidden brainwave today. The same people who didn't see your worth will watch you walk into places they never imagined for you. And not because you forced your way there, but because God led you. Not through status, but through surrender. Not through striving, but through stillness. Not through clout, but through calling. Keep your eyes on Him. Keep walking in grace. You're not behind. You're right on time. Every step you've taken has been part of a bigger plan. And now, heaven is aligning things in your favor. The pieces are coming together. The healing is taking root. The favor is being released. There are people who will never admit how much your light impacted them. Some will pretend not to see your growth. Others will stay silent when your name is mentioned. But that's not your concern. You weren't chosen to be recognized. You were chosen to reflect something holy. And when God chooses someone, He doesn't consult the crowd. He doesn't need the majority to agree. He sees your heart. He sees your obedience. He sees the way you kept going when no one clapped for you. Type 222 if you believe your light is growing even in dark places. There's a quiet power that lives in you. It's not boastful. It's not loud. It doesn't need attention. It just shows up. It moves hearts. It speaks peace. And sometimes that power makes people feel exposed. Not because you judge them, but because your presence reminds them of the truth they've been avoiding. That's the weight of being chosen. You become a mirror without trying. You become a standard without forcing it. You weren't called to prove anything. You were called to live in truth, to walk in grace, to be a vessel for what this world has forgotten: kindness, integrity, faithfulness. And that calling, though beautiful, comes with a cost. It costs you comfort. It costs you popularity. It costs you relationships. But in return, you receive something greater: closeness with God, wisdom beyond your years, a strength that can't be stolen. People may never understand the price you've paid to carry peace. They may never know what you had to lose just to hold on to your faith. But God knows. He was there when you cried in silence. He was there when you forgave what felt unforgivable. He was there when you stayed, even when everything in you wanted to walk away. That's why He chose you. Not because you were the strongest, but because you allowed Him to be strong in you. Type 555 if you're still trusting, even after being tested again and again. Chosen ones walk differently. They don't follow trends. They don't chase platforms. They move with purpose. They listen when God says pause. They wait when others rush. They speak when heaven gives them words. And they stay silent when peace requires it. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's the evidence of a life led by the Spirit. The majority won't understand why you're not bitter, why you don't seek revenge, why you continue to love when you've been overlooked.